Okay, so now we're into the next day of cross-examination by the defense attorney, YSL or Young Thug's defense attorney, Mr. Steele, and he's questioning one of the state's witness whose last name is Bean. So today is the continuance of that. So we're gonna watch that on here today.
Mr. Bean, good morning. Come on up again. All right, sir, you're still under oath, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, cross. Mr. Steele?
Thank you, Your Honor. You were released from prison in approximately 2017. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And since you've been released from prison, you have been gainfully employed. You've been working, right?
Yes, sir.
And you work for, I believe, currently, and if I'm wrong, just tell us, for the city of Atlanta, is that right?
No, sir.
Who do you...
Look at how casual and how nonchalant this person's attitude is towards the defense. Look at the responses that they're making. It's very comical, but then again, in a sense, it is not comical because it can become a problem from him, as you guys can see later. So we're going to watch this all the way through, and just pay attention to his responses. It's very interesting. And it's interesting in regards to how the defense attorney is going to seem frustrated and begin to handle him.
Who do you work with currently?
I'd rather not say who I work for, sir.
Okay, what do you do currently for a living? How about that?
I'm a foreman.
And explain what type of foreperson.
Foreman.
You said a foreman.
A supervisor.
Okay, for what type of work?
Traffic control.
Okay, traffic control. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Traffic control?
The traffic control.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
I really can't recall.
One more time.
I can't recall, sir.
Has it been more than 2 years?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you working other jobs as well currently?
No, sir.
All right. With regard to your testimony last week, Thursday and Friday, you said a lot of, I don't recall 2013. Do you remember something like that?
Yes, sir.
And I think you explained or tried to state that that was a bad time in your life, you blocked it out. If I'm misstating that, just correct me.
You don't recall anything from 2013, sir.
And why is that?
I just don't recall. I don't remember. I just don't recall, sir.
Do you remember things in 2014?
No, sir.
No? Yes or no?
No, sir.
2015?
I don't recall, sir.
How about 2016?
This man don't recall nothing from all the time up to 2013 up into 2024. He doesn't recall. And with his responses and the way he's given the responses, there's not much that they can do. But the defense attorney is very skilled in this, and he's going to find a way for him to slip up, and then he's going to be able to attack him. But as he's holding on his P's and Q's about he doesn't remember, he doesn't recall, he's not saying no, he's just saying, I don't recall, I don't remember. How can somebody make you remember? this is very interesting, and something that can, that we can pay attention to and see, how this type of person is responding to these different type of things, and maybe some laws that may be changed in the future in regards to how a person is to respond in trial. I don't know, but it is interesting, to say the least.
No, sir.
2017.
I just remember what I need to remember in 2017.
That's after prison, is that what you're saying?
I mean, I was released from prison in 2017.
And is your memory good after 2017, released from prison? Do you remember whenever month, I don't know the month, you're released from prison, you remember that? Is that what you're telling the jury?
Yes, sir.
And you remember then 2018?
Your Honor, I object as to vague. That's a broad question and not specific
Okay,
enough.
all right. I'll sustain the question. Just rephrase, Mr. Steele.
Do you have a memory of things you did in 2018?
Again, objection, vague.
I'll let him answer the question. I'm all over the question. You can answer it, sir.
2018. What I'm remembering in 2018.
You don't?
What am I remembering in 2018, sir?
Anything, where you were working, how about that?
No, I remember where I worked in 2018, sir.
Okay. Do you remember being home in 2018, not incarcerated?
Yes, sir.
All right. How about 2019? Same question.
What am I remembering?
Same question.
Every year you asking me what am I remembering for every year that you ask me about this certain type of year. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Answer my question. Do you remember where you were working in 2019?
No, sir.
Were you working in 2019?
I don't remember.
Were you living free in 2019?
I'm free.
Were you living with your wife in 2019?
I've been with my wife in 2019.
Same question. It's 2020. You remember that year where you were working?
I've been doing the same job for quite some years now, so it'll run into all that. It's 24 now. I've been working by 7, 8 years now. The working part is going to be what you're asking me about, sir.
And you remember that in 2020, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And 21, same question.
Okay.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
I remember my work 21. I remember my work 22. I remember my work 23. I remember my work 24. This year right now, what we're looking at.
How clearly do you remember 23 and 24 years? This year and last year?
Not too good, but
I can't hear you.
not too good.
Okay. Mr. Bean.
He says he doesn't.
Remember,
He says he doesn't remember too good. How can you make somebody remember? That's a question that we need to ask.
being convicted of what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 157C, as in Colette or Charlie, that you identified last week. Do you remember that?
No, sir. I don't know.
Okay. Your Honor, with the court's permission, may I show electronically 157C in Colette? And Mr. Kokomo, if he can help me out. It's already in evidence, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
It should be on the screen. You can look behind you or right next to you in a moment. And I want to go through this with you.
As you see, what's going to happen is this defendant is one of the defendants who actually told on Young Thug or had a complaint against him. I guess he did a crime with him, and then he was the one that basically what most people would consider snitch. He just told on him, told everything, and said Young Thug was here, Young Thug was there. So in regards to that, They have his statement here, and they're reading his statement. They're reading his statement. They're going over the statement, and they want to see and show the statement that he has here. Now, what I think this defense attorney is doing, knowing that he had told on Young Thug, he's really pointing out step by step and allowing him to see and everybody else to see who is watching that this guy is a snitch. And they're basically putting all the information that this young man had wrote in his complaint. They're reading it and they are showing it verbally so the whole world can see it. Basically, this is what I think is going on. So let's watch this and see how far this goes and see if you guys catch this.
When there's nothing holding you.
So the
Back. What would your thing be?
So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna see the rest of what they've done here in this trial. This attorney is very good. Steele, this is why you pay these guys the big bucks, because they know what they're doing. So we're gonna get back to Mr. Steele and see what he's doing here.
Being what's on the screen is been already admitted on March 1, 2024. This is the Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia versus you. You see that on the left-hand side of that first page?
Yes, sir.
And you see where it says filed in the office of the Deputy Clerk of Superior Court, Fulton County, and gives the date of October 15, 2015?
It's gonna still be the same.
I can't hear you.
It's gonna still be the same. I seen this paper last week. The same paper Ms. Love showed me last week.
I just cannot hear you.
Friday. It's gonna be the same thing. I seen this paper before.
Answer my question. Do you see it says October 15, 2015, filed in the office of Deputy Clerk, Superior Court, Fulton County?
Yes, sir.
And you see in the next column to the right, there's a rectangle and it has your date of birth, June 22, 1979. True?
True.
Okay. And then if you go down on that page, with Mr. Kokomo's permission, you see it lists certain charges on the left-hand corner. You see that? Left-hand side? It goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it skips to 9. You see that?
I see it.
Okay. And then it says in the disposition, you see 2 columns over, after it says charge, and then you see disposition.
Yes, sir.
And on count 1, it says guilty Alford. Right?
I don't know.
Do you see it?
I don't know.
I can't hear you.
I don't know.
Do you see it? Is what I'm
I can't
asking.
really see it.
Yes?
Okay. Where you thing at? Yes, sir.
Okay. And then it says for the sentence, 10 years to serve 3 years. That's in prison, right?
Okay.
Balance probated 7 years, right?
Okay.
And then it says concurrent with, and it gives another indictment number. You see that?
Okay.
And that's indictment number 14 SC 130460, which we're going to discuss in a moment. All right? Okay? Yes?
Aye.
All right. Now, this is October 15, 2015, and the total sentence here is 10 years, right?
I don't recall this.
Well, that was your sentence.
I don't recall this, sir.
Okay. This is the same document you recalled last week on the 1st of March, right?
I still didn't recall it.
All right. Count 2, you see on the left-hand side, count 2, it says aggravated assault against a police officer, vehicle on vehicle. You see that? You see that?
I don't.
Let's take a pause right here. I'm going to look at a few of these things here. When you're looking at, let's look at this here. When you're looking here, well, let's look over here. You're looking at here. This has the sentence. It shows that he had a 10-year sentence, served 3 years, have a balance of 6 years just left that's probated. Over here is the fine that he has, and over here is the concurrent. When you see concurrent, it'll say concurrent with 1. What that means is concurrent with count 1. Over here are the counts. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All 8 counts here. You have the date. Then you have the disposition. You have guilty, Alfred plea, and Alfred plea. An Alfred plea is a plea that you're saying is, hey, if I plead guilty, it could get me in trouble. So the Alfred plea is a guilty plea without saying that you are guilty. It's just saying that based on the circumstances, you have to take this plea. So this is what's dispositioned here. And then you have the no proceed. I guess that's the, I guess they're not going to proceed on that, or how they have that. What is that? Process? The guilty of. I can't see that. But those are how you end up reading this particular, the charge, the disposition, the sentence, and the fine.
I don't recall none of this paperwork right here, but you're showing me, though, Mr.
All right, well, it's in evidence, so we're going to go through it. Again, you pled guilty under Alfred, right? In the same sentence.
And you see how the attorney said, yeah, well, we're going to go through it. Basically, he's saying, hey, yeah, you might have seen it 1,000 times. We're finna go over it again. So don't worry about that. You just make sure you answer the question that I ask you.
10 years is total sentence, 3 years in prison. The balance is 7 years on probation to run concurrent with count 1. Okay? That's what it says, right? Yes or no?
Sir, you got to answer the questions, okay?
Yeah, I guess it's on the screen. Yes, sir.
Count 3 is again aggravated assault against a peace officer, and again guilty under Alfred. For 10 years to serve 3 years, balance 7 years on probation, concurrent with count 1, right?
I never pleaded to this.
All right, we're going to talk about it. We'll go through the whole document. The next one is count 4, 5, and 6, and that's armed robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and possession of firearm during the commission of a felony, and all those were no pros were dismissed. You see that?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then the last one is count 9, fleeing or attempting to elude, misdemeanor, and again, guilty under Alfred, 12 months to serve, concurrent, run at the same time as count 1. That's what it says, right?
That's what it says.
All right, let's go to page 2 with Mr. Kokomo's permission. And these are the terms of the sentence summary. You see that right there where Mr. Kokomo stopped? You see in bold it says sentence summary.
Sentence summary, yeah.
Okay, and defendant is a word used for somebody charged with a crime, right? You know that?
I didn't know that.
Like a plaintiff is a state, or a defendant is a person charged, or in a civil case. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Well, it says the defendant is a judge guilty. Excuse me, I'm in the wrong place. The defendant is sentenced for a total of 10 years, with the first 3 years to be served in confinement, the remainder to be served on probation, right? Then it says or, and it's not checked, to be served on probation. So you were sent to prison, right? You see that?
You say so.
Well, that's the prison you're talking about with the jurors that you said you got out in about 2017, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then if you go down to the next line, the defendant, which is just the way it's termed, but you are to receive credit for time served in custody as determined by the custodian. That's the Department of Corrections for the state of Georgia, right? You see that?
See, they're having to take their time, with pretty much with kid gloves with this particular defendant. He's actually not a defendant; he's a witness. So they need him to answer the question. They want him to answer the question. They're kind of limited in how they can get a response out of him, or what type of response they're going to get out of him. But it's amazing on how Mr. Steele really took his time with this particular defendant. I mean, witness, and it seems like he is getting some breakthrough and he's getting him to answer some questions.
Yeah.
And then on the next one, which is box 2, it's checked. Upon the service of 3 years, the remainder of the sentence may be served on probation, provided that defendant shall comply with the conditions imposed by the court as part of the sentence. And then it goes through general conditions of probation and special conditions underneath. Okay? You see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then Mr. Kokomo can scroll down, and it's checked, or X, number 2. Probation supervision fee is waived for the first 6 months after release. You see that?
Yeah.
And then on the next page, it says special conditions of probation. And you waive your 4th and 5th Amendment rights, meaning you have to answer questions. Right? Do you know what the 5th Amendment is?
Your Honor, I object as to the commentary about having to answer questions.
I sustain the objection.
Do you know what the 5th Amendment
Your
is?
Honor, I'd ask
I
that
sustain the objection.
For the 5th Amendment? Ask him if he knows what it means. Okay. You waived your 4th Amendment and 5th Amendment rights. You see that?
For those of y'all who don't know, let's talk about sustaining an objection. Sustaining an objection means the attorney, whoever objected, the judge is saying, okay, I can agree with the objection. What I don't understand about this case, when there's an objection, you're supposed to give a reason why you objected. With this judge, what I'm seeing is a lot of times he's giving a reason for the objection. He's answering to the objection without having the particular attorney say why they are objecting. There's different grounds for objecting. Hearsay, different grounds that an attorney can object. But the objection here, it doesn't seem like a lot of times they're giving a reason why they're objecting. But let's talk about overruled objection. If the attorney objects to something and that objection was overruled, what that means is that witness has to answer the question. So overruled objection means you have to answer. Sustained objection means you do not have to answer.
I'm looking at it.
Okay. And then maintain employment, undergo regular random drug screens, obtain a GED, and then back to that court if your probation is going to be revoked. You see all that?
I'm looking at it.
And revoked probation means you go back to prison instead of being out on the street under supervision of a probation officer, right?
I guess so.
You don't want to go back to prison, do you?
Boy, that's a hell of a question.
I mean, what do you mean?
I'm asking.
What do you mean? So do I want to go back to prison?
You don't want to go back to prison, do you?
If I had to go, I would. I went to prison.
Goddamn hell of an answer.
I've been to prison before.
Hell of a question, hell of a goddamn answer.
Did you enjoy prison?
That was cold, boy. That was a cold question.
I mean, I did mine. I did my time.
Underneath that, if Mr. Kokomo comes down,
So presently, at the present, you guys are watching a verbal fight between the attorney and the witness. That's what you're watching right now. It's a battle. It's a tug of war right now. So we're gonna watch it and see how far we get into this today.
What's your credit card debt balance?
A lot of different times, and what we want to see here is this argument that's taking place. I'm sorry, you guys. We want to see this argument that's taking place between this defendant, this witness, and this this defendant and the attorney. So now that we're back, we'll be able to see that.
in that court was the Honorable Judge Downs, who sentenced you. You see that?
And we're not going to take that much time here.
Yes, sir.
Now,
We're only going to do 30 minutes on this today. We're going to take these 30 minutes. So we got about 2 or 3 minutes left, and then we'll do that on another stream. But now we're just going to get familiar with this witness, and then we're going to look at the overall view of the court cases. So look at the rest of the other videos to subscribe. If you like the content that we're providing, subscribe to the videos. We're going to put out a lot more videos, a lot more legal videos, explain some of the legal content that goes on in these different courtrooms, these settings, some of these definitions, break it down for a lot of people who are what consider laymen. So we'll do that for you guys. Actually, let's get these last 2 minutes of these questions in, and then we'll be out of here.
Mr. Williams never paid for any of your lawyers, right?
No, sir.
He never made any bond for you, right?
No, sir.
The next page of this document, 157C, as in Colette, Charlie, keep going down, is the indictment. I want to go through the indictment with you. Okay. If you go up a little bit.
So these are a lot of cases here, and right here, what we're going to do, we're going to stop it right here. We're going to stop this video at the present right here. What he has here is a lot of these different cases that this young man has, a lot of these cases that may have been dismissed, or for whatever the causes may be. You have the different counts that are on here, and the lawyer is just going to go over these counts. A lot of this may seem redundant, but he's going over this information. So we appreciate you hanging out with us, looking over this trial today. If you like all the information that we put out, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe. We'll provide you guys more content. We appreciate you guys, and we're just going to provide you some informative information to get you on the right road and get you the steps, so you'll know you'll get familiar with a court setting and different things like that. We want to kind of get the understanding of the lingo. So hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good one.